Hello and welcome back. This is Vinchenz, and today for one night only we are flying the Anvil F7C Hornet Mk2. We are going to go fly it and do some ERTs. We upgraded our prospector in the store for $20 and we got ourselves this nice little fighter ship, or it's a medium fighter ship actually. So we've spec'd it out with ballistic miniguns. I do have a laser on the nose just in case I run out of all other weapons and I need some DPS. I've never really flown a little ship like this, and it was definitely an eye-opener. I really enjoyed flying this ship, it was unbelievable. The engine noise, the handling, and mainly the engine noise, I'll be honest with you, and the fact that it can hold so many guns, I suppose, is a great feature as well. It was just an absolutely awesome ship. We ended up upgrading it again the day after and getting a Corsair. But I just wanted to post this video because it is a really nice ship, and if anyone's thinking of buying one, it's really good fun. Probably one of the most fun ships I've flown. It is a bit easy to kill, and it's only got one shield generator, so the shields all go down together when it takes damage, which you do have to be very careful of. But yeah, just looking at this ship now, I mean the colour, I like the colour. Some people diss it, but I think it's absolutely gorgeous. And it's just a beautiful little ship. The wings are cool, they come out when you put the landing gear away, and you feel like you're in a little fighter plane. So anyway, here we are meeting up with a few of the boys, and we are starting an ERT. Again, we've got the ballistic miniguns installed, so I wanted to see how they were, because I think it came stock with two of them on the wings, so I put them on the turret as well. For such a little ship, it's got a lot of firepower. So we've also spec'd it with task force missiles, because we were speaking to one of the boys in the org and he was saying that these have got a much higher chance to hit the target. And from what I'm seeing, every missile I fired hit 100%, so can't complain about them. I might get some of those on my other ships as well. So here we go on the first target. We are taking on a Starfarer, and we have got it in gimbal mode with the miniguns. So I wasn't exactly sure what range I should be shooting at. So I just got as close as I felt comfortable with and started pounding on the hull of this Starfarer. This is also the very first flight, so it was very responsive, and I was sort of gauging how to track the little pips and stuff. It was so sensitive, I had to be really careful with the joystick. But as the video goes on, you'll see I do get quite a lot better at flying it, and it became really enjoyable to do the missions with. The one thing I don't like straight off the bat is the fact that it's only got two screens, and that is a little bit annoying, but on the plus side you do have excellent visibility because you haven't got the screens up at the top. So it just depends on your preference, whether you want extra screens or you want more visibility. I don't think you necessarily need more screens. If you know what buttons you've pressed and what you're doing with your shields and power to shields or power to engines and stuff like that, then I don't necessarily think you do need more screens. I seem to get on okay with just having the two, I can't really complain. I had the enemy on there and I had my shields and stuff, so that's all I really need to know when I'm up there. So eventually we do kill this Starfarer, but we have used like 90% of all our weapons and we were left with 145 shots on the Revenant Gatling gun, and that wasn't really going to do much good when we've still got 3 targets to kill. But anyway, we go in, we use up the rest of our weapons, and then one disadvantage of ballistic weapons obviously is that you have to go and restock whenever you get the opportunity. So here we're helping the boys finish off a hammerhead. It does get some good damage. I mean, the weapons I think are size 2 and 3. It hasn't got the bonus size 3 guns that you can get from the quests and stuff. But, you know, still pretty powerful. It ripped up the hulls. So can't really complain. I wasn't too impressed with these Gatling guns, I'll be honest though, because it just went through so much ammo trying to kill the targets. And by the time I'd finished all my ballistic ammo, I was left with this one little laser on the front of the ship. So I just carried on shooting at the target, hoping to keep his shields down and letting the boys finish him off. There's a few times I have to jet out because my shields are taking a beating, but they do go up pretty quick, so can't really moan about that either. You just do one little blip out away from the targets and within 20 seconds your shields are back up. Another annoying thing that I did notice is that I could not scan any of the ships, so I don't know if that's a known issue with this ship or not. But it was quite frustrating because being in a little nippy ship, while everyone else is sort of loading up cargo, I was scooting around and thinking, oh, I'll just go and scan this one and that one. But unfortunately I couldn't scan any of them. It wasn't a question of distance. I couldn't adjust the piercing on the right, so the scanner was just a bit whack in this ship. Since then I have bought the Wildfire Hornet, and that can scan absolutely fine, so maybe it's just a bug with this Mark II version. But the Wildfire has no engine noise. This one has got a really, really cool engine noise. It's almost worth buying the ship again just for that engine noise. I have thought about it a few times.
Take off.
Here it is, just ripping up a C2. The Gatlings do have some great effects when they hit, so they are pretty intense, but again, you can see straight up there, I've already lost 90% of 2 of my weapons, and I've got like half of my other weapons left, so, you know, that was the first ship in an ERT, and I'm already on half ammo, so it's not great. You can't get through all 4 ships, especially with these big ships and the smaller size weapons. It's not like you're shooting with the Corsair or the Taurus. They have like much larger weapons that seem to get through these shields, or if you're using ballistics they damage the hull a lot more, whereas these little ones do take a bit more time, but it was still pretty good fun. One great bonus, as you can see here, is you can just spin around the target while they're flying dead slow, and they can't really get too many shots off on you. This is the second ERT we did, and I'm already feeling a bit more comfortable with the ship and trying to stay out of the fire from any of the enemy ships. So you'll see at certain points they do start to fire at me and I can just strafe out the way really quick. I might take 1 or 2 hits, but they don't just keep hitting me like they do in other ships. So here we're trying to take down the Reclaimer. We're just hitting him in his soft underbelly. We don't really know if it's doing much damage because obviously in the target screen the bigger ships at the moment are bugged and you can't see their shields, or the hull, the state of the ship, you just can't see anything. You just have that blank screen, so that's a bit annoying. This was a seriously exciting ship. The ERTs were really, really good fun, and I can't say that enough. I really enjoyed it. These task force missiles were absolutely awesome. Every single one of them hit the target, so I am going to go and put them on my other ships as well. People do say it's not the greatest in atmosphere as well. I did do a little bit of flying left and right just to test it and feel it. It does have the odd jerk here and there, which I did find a bit strange. Like most of my other ships are really still quite smooth in atmosphere. This was a little bit jerky and it was nowhere near as sensitive as it is out in space. But it was very manageable and I couldn't really moan too much about it. So here this guy's trying to shoot me and I am literally just rotating around him and he's got no chance. And then I come back underneath him and give him a few shots without him even being able to target me. Obviously I'm flying from outside the ship here, so it does take me a minute just to get them on target. Another thing I do think is strange is when you're using these ballistics, a lot of people always tell me to use ballistics. When you're shooting at the ships, there's so much bright light coming off them. They almost go invisible, and you don't actually know what you're shooting at. Like here, I can just about see the silhouette of that ship, but you know, I could collide with it, I could get too close. It's just too dark to have a real clear idea of what's going on around you. Not too bad here if you've got a bright planet in the background, but when it's just dark, open space, I found it very difficult to keep track of even these massive ships. Okay, so obviously all my guns have gone now and we are back to our little piddly laser. So now this is where we've changed to ballistic cannons, and this was a lot more fun. It didn't give you that raucous feeling of the Gatling guns, but what it did do is it allowed you to kill the ships without wasting all your ammo. So with these ballistic cannons, I was actually quite a bit of help to the team, and I could take down the top DPS ship no problem, keep its attention, keep it busy, and keep it away from our bigger cargo hauling ships. So here I am against the Corsair. He is getting an absolute beatdown, and we've hardly taken a shot. The engine noise makes you feel like you're in a fighter plane. It's just so cool. So the Corsair's got no chance of getting his nose on me. He's trying to keep the front end towards me just so I can't hit the back of him. But I've got so much speed and maneuverability in this ship, I can just get behind him anytime I want, really. I do try there, and he's still managing to keep away from me. But then going from different angles, he doesn't seem to know where I am, and I can get those shots in that I want on his soft belly, and down he goes pretty quick. So as you can see there, we've taken out the first ship, and we still have over half of our ammo left, if not about 2/3.
Landing gear deployed.
So even once we'd finished that ERT, I still had about 2/3 of my ammo left. And I quickly nip down and take the opportunity to restock all my guns while we take the next mission and the boys head over.
Landing complete.
So it's pretty cheap to restock, 36 AUEC, which is not bad at all. It also doesn't take that long to restock, and I was back up in the air within 30 seconds.
Takeoff complete. Landing gear raised.
There's the crackle of the engine. Such a cool noise. So there you can see the ballistic cannons. They look pretty cool. And they are big weapons for such a small ship. So here we go, we're up against a Redeemer this time. I think we've already blown his engine off, and we just absolutely annihilate him. The Redeemer is a ship I don't normally like taking down, but in this ship it was super simple, no trouble whatsoever. So we just make sure he's dead, and now it's time to move on to the C2.
System overheating.
So each time you're hitting him with these ballistic weapons, his hull is just flashing red, and he is taking severe damage. You don't know when he's going to pop, so I just go a little bit lightly and do volleys of 3 or 4 shots at a time, because I do not want to fully destroy him. I remember that shot. I love that going past the sunlight with the ballistic weapons. That was cool. Sparks flying everywhere. So this guy tries to point his nose at me, so I don't kill him. Quick blip around him. He's got no chance of keeping that nose pointing at me. And we'll just finish him off nice and easy. So yeah, maneuverability is absolutely awesome. Look at this as well. These bits of ship just flying off into space look absolutely incredible. When the sunlight's hitting them and they're all glistening, it looked so cool. That was the first time I'd really seen it. Maybe it's something you get with ballistic weapons, I don't know. But it looked really cool. Another advantage of this ship is you can go right up to the cargo bay and have a good nosy in there. And it's also super quick to get out. Obviously there's no cargo hold, so if I was doing this on my own this wouldn't be any use to me at all. But while the boys were looting other ships, I could just nip in, have a good look inside, make sure we got some loot. Obviously my scanner wasn't working, so I took the opportunity on this C2 just to get as close as I can and see what kind of containers we've got on there. If we've got some green ones, obviously we know they're weaver legs, and if we've got quite a few white ones, we know it could be valuable.
Warning, weapons system overheating.
Now we're on the next ERT and we're getting used to the weapons, we're getting used to the ship, and we just start blowing up ships for fun.
Destroyed.
We're even confident enough to take on a hammerhead, knowing that we can just move out of any fire that's incoming, and we've got a full stock of weapons to take this guy down.
Overheating. Warning, weapons system overheating. Shields hit. Warning, weapons system overheating.
So this was a big test for the ship, but it did pretty well. It did lose its shields a couple of times and I did have to jet out, but it was a hammerhead, so I can't really moan about that. And as you can see there though, within like 10 seconds the shields are back up to full. They will disappear within 5 seconds, but
Overheating.
it's not that bad when you just blip out once, get the shields back up and then straight back in on the fight.
Warning, weapons system overheating.
I am a bit gutted that I haven't got the ship anymore. The day after I made this purchase, the Corsair came available again, and I'd really wanted a Corsair for ages. So I just said, right, pay an extra $50 or whatever it was and upgrade this F7C to a Corsair. But I do miss it, and straight away I had to go and buy one in game. It was the Mark 1 and not the Mark 2, and I thought it would be very similar. And it is similar in agility and stuff like that, but what it doesn't have is any engine noise. And for me, that really does ruin the ship. It's just nowhere near as fun as the F7C Mark II.
Bogey.
Right, so we did a lot of damage on that hammerhead, and I think Space Worm has finally finished him off, and yep, he is down.
Bogey.
The effects look pretty cool on that hammerhead. I was just checking it out, he's burning up. Right, so we've got about half our bullets left, and I think there's 2 ships remaining. So I was just about to start on a Caterpillar, and one thing you do have to watch out for with the Hornet is your own mates, because if they're flying much bigger ships and they're flying them fast and circling targets like I'm doing, if they hit you, you're a dead man. So going over some of the different features of this ship, taking off out of hangars is super simple. You can literally just point up and blast out. That is really cool. Do like that. Most of the hangars are massive compared to this little ship. Trying to get it in the back of C2s, you can't quite fit it in the C2. It is also the perfect size to land on like carrier ships that have got hangars. So here we're loading it up onto an 890 jump, and it fit absolutely perfectly on the ramp. I mean, almost not to the inch, but you know, to the meter or whatever. It fitted perfectly. I mean, you can see here in the hangar, it just seems to fit this ship perfectly. And this would be a really cool ship to have on your Carrack or your 890 jump or whatever it may be. I'm not sure if it would fit in the Carrack, obviously I've not tested that, but in the 890 it fitted in perfect. So this was a ship we'd stolen off one of the ERT mission mobs, and Space Worm got in the cockpit, got all the hangar open and stuff like that, and we just wanted to test it out. And now it's time for me to leave again. One thing I did notice actually, which I was really impressed with, and I'm not sure if this works or not when you're actually doing it in your own ships, but it did seem to have available the ability to repair and restock your ship inside the 890 jump. As you could see from that menu there, if I had damage and needed weapons, the buttons were available. At this point, I'd just come back out in this ship, so it's fully stocked and fully repaired and everything, but it would be pretty cool if you could repair your ship inside the 890. You could almost have it as a little base, go and kill an ERT ship, come back, repair, restock, go again. In fact, I might have to do that in one of my videos, but I'll do it obviously with the Hornet I've got at the moment, which is the Mark 1. So yeah, on a final note, I mean, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you liked this video. I'm really excited to do it. As you can tell, I'm probably talking at a million miles an hour, but it was just so exciting that I just couldn't resist doing this video. It's such a cool little ship. And here was one of my favourite shots of the night. Parked on top of the 890, just cruising around an asteroid. The light hitting the ship and hitting my ship. Absolutely incredible. Here we go, that sun bit there. Oh, look at that. So here Space Worm just flew out, and it just shows you the scale of the ship compared to a man. It is really quite a small ship. It's classed as a medium fighter, but it really is small, tiny in fact. And to have such an amount of firepower on such a little ship, it is going to be a valuable asset to any team. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, please subscribe, and I hope this helped you make a decision if you like this ship or not. And I will look forward to seeing you in the next one, and until then, take it easy.